We have 13 weeks of pure excitement, pure learning, pure sharing, doing business together, bonding.
Idea extraction is your bedrock to building a profitable business.
Your business has a value, you have worth, and you need to be able to set your price. No matter how great the product is, it has to be marketed. If you have the cure for cancer tomorrow and you don't market it, no lives will be saved. Think about the challenges that we have and why your product or service is going to fill that.
You are the brand. We have to find our own unique value proposition.
At the end of the day, business is about money. And the big question you're always going to get, who is going to pay for this and how much money is it going to actually produce?
The only thing that you need to do is not give up.
This is going to be an exciting ride, ladies.
The Boss Women Entrepreneurship Program. We're like 6 o'clock on the dot, and so we're going to kick things off. And Nadine wants us to kick it off with her lovely music, so we're going to play that once it's ready. We have an incredible lineup of guests today, so we can't wait for you to hear what they have to serve us today. Like it's a 2-course meal, beautifully designed 2-course meal today. So we're looking forward to really just learning and soaking everything in. So once again, welcome. I see all of you coming in. Giselle, our second speaker is already here as well. So welcome, Chris. Thank you for joining in early. Welcome, Cara, Kay, Lakoya, Nadine, your namesake is here as well. Shireen, welcome everyone. We still have more people coming.
Welcome everyone. Welcome everyone.
Hi everyone.
Hello everyone. Hello Shireen. Hello Lucia. Hello Stella. How are you?
Good. How are you, Nadine?
I'm fantastic. I'm absolutely fantastic. And how is our car gal? Listen, Debbie, listen. This is what happened for me. I need you like yesterday. I need you so badly. I just have not sent it. I need just pray for me, okay? Because it's all good. It's all good. But when you're so busy, you cannot get to bring the people in that you need to help relieve some of the stuff. So Debbie, I'm going to send it to you. And it's not going to be perfect. I'm just going to own the embarrassment and just send it, and you're going to help me fix it. Okay? You're going to help me fix it. Please and thank you. Please and thank you. So welcome everybody to the BBPA Boss Women Entrepreneurship Training Program. I'm always very thankful to our partners, the Women Entrepreneurship Knowledge Hub, to TJ Maxx, of course, the BBPA, which I'm the president, and to you incredible women who show up each and every week. I'm so inspired by all of you. I tell the stories of each and every one of you every single week. I want to first open and thank Uju. Uju is my right and left hand. And Uju is the kind of person, when you put in an application, I need you to think for me. She can do that. She really can read minds, and I can count on her. And part of being an entrepreneur is delegating, but you got to delegate and follow up and get the right people. Uju is that person. She's my total rock. And Uju, I want to thank you first, because normally we leave thanks till the end, but not today. Today, I want to thank you so much for just who you are. You're an incredible, incredible person. And I'm just thankful to God that you're in my life. Thank you. I want to start there. And then we have 2 amazing friends of mine. We have the awesome Andrea Pierce from Immigrants Can, because yes, we can. And Andrea is just, again, another one of these women that I can call up anytime, day or night. And I can say, Andrea, I'm having this challenge. I think part of the challenge that us women go through and Black women go through is we're afraid to ask, and I still struggle with that sometimes. You think, there's this expectation that you're supposed to be perfect and everything's supposed to be perfect, but we're human. And Andrea is one of these people that I can call and say, hey, hon, I need you. And she's like, I got you. And we just start. And so I really appreciate her for that. And thank you for being here. And then we also have the awesome, the most wonderful, and the most handsome Chris Alexander, but he's not here because he's handsome, and he's here because he's brilliant. He's absolutely brilliant, and a member and a partner of the BBP, and I'm very thrilled to have him share something that, it's going to be so beneficial to all of us. So in the spirit of that, I'm going to play my music. Bear with me for a second, okay? Do I have sharing privileges?
Oh, hold on. Let me stop sharing so you can share.
Thank you.
Yes, you can share now.
All right. Are we ready?
Yes.
Let's do it. Let's do it. So I want to share, and I want to share with music. Okay. Chris, this is because of you. Chris, I can't see you on the screen. Where are you, Chris? There we are. This is because of Chris. So Chris's bio will be read later, but this is because of Chris. All right. So loud and proud. And I want us to see everybody. You hear the accent is coming out. All right. Ready?
Woo!
How we feeling?
Ole, ole.
That's my opening, guys. The moment you said you were going to come on, I knew that I was going to play that, Chris. So that's ode to Chris Alexander. Yeah, and so one of the stories I want to share today, the art of networking. I don't know if Cultivate is on here today, but every time I have a conversation around what this program means and what Black women entrepreneurship, the journey is, and what we're here to do, I pull up this and I talk to our client partners. And so I opened up with an esteemed panelist at the Women Entrepreneurship Knowledge Hub. They had their convention today, and I shared this with the group, and I shared the reason why. And so they all took your information. So they're going to be calling you. I had a meeting with HSBC this week, not just with their Canadian branch, but with their Bermuda branch. And we also talked about your candles. Because what we have to do, ladies, we have to talk about our products and our services. We have to do it over again and again and again. You know, that's what marketing is. That's what promotion is. It's always being on. You're able to represent your brand, as Daniel says, within a minute. You know, you have to be able to do that. And I love when I ask people online, show me your product. They show me their product. So tonight, you know, I'm here for the prizes. I love to do prizes. So tonight's prize, Uju, what are we giving away today?
I'm going to leave that to you to let us know.
Something from a jury? Do we want to give away something from a jury?
Oh, okay.
So for today's Majuri prize, I want you to show me your product. Who's got a product? And if you've got a service, that's okay. Just pull up your service offering, whatever that looks like. If you have a brochure, if you can drop something to us very quickly, you just show me. Even if it's your business card, show me your business card. And we have, oh, I see someone here, right? I see good, what is it? Good something? My eyes are bad.
We make beer.
Oh, what? Send a case. Send a case, Uju, take that woman's number. Let's order some. And I see Julianne has a book. Good stuff. All the people who show me your stuff, Uju, you're taking.
See everybody.
So we're recording. We'll be able to keep. So if you've shown me your product, put your hand up. So when Uju is getting ready to give out the prizes, we can do this. Awesome. Awesome. So one person, the first person will get something from a jury, and the others we'll do the Starbucks gift card. I see you, top scholars. You're showing your card. That's nice. Debbie is there scurrying around trying to find her. You could have shown your pen, right? There's your card. Woohoo! I love it. I'm not obsessed. I'm an editor. I love it. Awesome. Awesome. And I'm seeing top scholars. Anybody else who's showing me their goodies? No? So Uju, you've got everybody. And I've got Tammy Taylor Dean who's showing me worship in practice, dance. Is it dance? Okay, awesome. So Uju, you're keeping nice track. And I see K Dean. K Dean's got her card. Fantastic. Thank you. And listen, Claudia, you should have a little mini card. Where's your mini card that you have to show? You've got your card. Awesome. Thank you so very much, guys. Yeah, because you know they say there's no such thing as luck. It's preparation meets opportunity. It's preparation meets opportunity. And in the spirit of the program, we always want to be prepared. You know, the business plan, the financial statement, all of those pieces, it's to be prepared. So Uju, if you want to pull up your presentation now. I won't take up much more of your time because I know that we have two awesome guests who's going to be sharing with our team today. Kadeen, it's good to see you.
Perfect. So just before we start, I just wanted to talk about this very quickly before we get into, I know we've taken a bit of time. Oh, actually, we still have a bit of time. And so I don't know how many of us were around for week 4, I believe, where we had the Associate Minister for Small Business come on and talk to us about this. So I just wanted to bring this to your attention again because the deadline is coming up really soon. So if you haven't really applied, this is in the spirit of today's theme being resources and tools, especially from the government. I wanted to share this and remind you there is up to $20,000 to be had. So please go and apply, and who knows, you might just get 10,000. Nothing is really too small in terms of advancing the operations for your business. So please go on. The website is right there. It's ontario.ca/COVID support, or you can just look at it right there. So yeah, if you need the link, I'm going to drop the link on the chat as well as the program goes. And so I just wanted to do a quick pulse check because we see that we're literally almost halfway through the program. And I wanted to check, okay, what insights, and I don't want to have to cold call someone, but I want to see in the past 6 weeks, what insight have you acted on? Can someone just highlight and just share it? In the past 6 weeks, we've gone through business planning, financial planning, we've gone through marketing, we've gone through e-commerce and advancing your business through digital. Like, what can someone just share? And I know we have a lot of testimonials so far, but what have you implemented in the last 6 weeks? Who wants to go? I can see raised hands. Are there any raised hands?
Yeah, I see Shakara is her hands are raised.
Okay, go ahead, please.
Yeah, Shakira. I was just going to say I learned a lot about e-commerce. So I found both of Danielle's presentations really insightful because not only did she talk about e-commerce, but she kind of talked about how you can make community impact in ways that might not be as practical as people think. So I was really moved by when she said, how people reach out to her wanting her products and she asked them what they can afford. So I think having that mindset and knowing that you can make community impact in new and innovative ways was really has really changed the way I'm thinking about my business.
That's phenomenal. Thank you for that insights and that testimonial. Do we have any? I'm just going to take one more and we'll go to the next question. Is there anyone else who wants to share what they've acted on the last 6 weeks?
There's something in the chat, Uju, that someone have said that they've integrated the financial piece from Danielle's presentation in their business.
Okay.
I've integrated a financing app from Danielle Clearbank into my Instagram store. So that's littenbags.com. I will go there. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And we have a lot of that. And also, because a lot of you are also on the WhatsApp group, I see all the connections going. Someone asking for an accountant. I see the connection. So does anyone want to share, some of these connections that happened? Which business did you connect with? I know one of the weeks we talked about Adola. Is there someone who is, I think I'm pronouncing it correctly. Anyone who's connected with someone and done business with someone in the group?
I don't see any hands up, but there's 2 messages here from before on how they've integrated things that they've learned. One person, Patrice, says, I've drafted my business plan and building my team, and I'm working on a grant application right now to support a project initiative. Kudos to you, Patrice.
Awesome. That's what I want to hear.
Yeah, the next one is from Shayla. I've gained more insights about my niche, and I'm learning how to be more vocal about the service I'm working on to provide. I've reserved an email domain. Kudos to you.
That's phenomenal. Okay, so do we have anybody else that has made any connections or wants to shout out a business that they have worked with in the past 6 weeks?
I don't mind mentioning, it's Julianne. I made a connection with, I think it's
Kanissa Communications. We're basically working together right now, and she is, I think someone was looking for someone who does web design, and she posted and I just followed also. We had a quick Zoom meeting, and now she's handling on a monthly basis my websites and advertising and banners and so forth.
That's amazing. I really love to hear the stories of, the connections that have been made, the businesses you're working with, because that's really one of the reasons why we're here. Those connections, and then those businesses all advancing each other and uplifting each other and doing business with each other. And so on that note, I'm going to welcome our first speaker. Actually, the slide is actually, it's mixed up backwards because our first speaker is actually Andrea. And so I'm just going to skip and welcome her. Okay, so let's welcome Andrea Pierce. When I got her bio, it was like, whoa. She is so accomplished. I'm just going to read out a bit of it because I couldn't possibly read out all of it. It's just the condensed parts of it. So Andrea is a serial.
Looking you on mute.
Okay, can you hear me? Oh wow, I've been talking to myself. I'm sorry. Okay, so I was saying that when I got Andrea's bio, it was incredible. I was like, whoa, all these accomplishments, and I can't possibly read all through it because we would sleep here today. So I'm just going to read a snapshot of it. Andrea is a serial entrepreneur and the owner of Immigrants Can, where she practices as a regulated Canadian immigrant consultant. Her practice specializes in family sponsorship, students, and economic business immigrants, including startup entrepreneurs who immigrate to Canada to start and run their innovative business. So her business assists with immigration as well as business supportive services in buying or starting and growing your own venture in Canada and successfully meeting the immigration requirements for job creation. And the results are over 250 new businesses have been established and 500 new jobs. She has a master's certificates from York University, an MBA from University of Phoenix, and project management from UC Berkeley. She is incredibly accomplished, but most recently, she led the development of the federal procurement strategy for Black-owned businesses, pilot that started in January 2021. And she's the Equity Ottawa lead for Ottawa Local Immigration Partnership. And she serves as the member of the governing body of the Carleton University Queen Elizabeth Scholarships. So please welcome Andrea Pierce as she talks to us today about resources and really the role of government in advancing our businesses. Andrea, welcome. I'm just going to stop sharing now so that you can share your screen as well.
Thank you all. I really appreciate the opportunity to talk to you. It's great to see Nadine, of course, because, they always say how Black women don't get along and we don't support each other. That's such a lie, because I think if we didn't support each other, none of us would be here still. We'd all go crazy already and just lose it in general. At least I would anyway. So I'm excited to be here to share with you guys, and please feel free to interrupt me, ask questions at any time, because this session is really not about me, it's about you. And I'm excited to be sharing the stage with Chris, because I've recently met Chris and I just think he's wonderful. So this is amazing. And of course, being with all of you wonderful boss ladies, big up yourself, because you're doing your own thing. And this is the time to do it. When times are tough, opportunities abound. I really believe that's the time to make an impact and get yourself in the game and up your game and all that. So today I wanted to talk to you, you're used to this slide, so I'm gonna skip it. I want to talk to you a little bit about government bids and tenders. So I'm a part of the government bidding process. I want contracts for my businesses with the government, and I've been advocating along with Nadine for a procurement strategy for Black businesses. Right now, there's a procurement strategy set aside of procurements for Aboriginal businesses right now in Canada for quite a while. And we've been working together as a group with the UNDPAD, through the UNDPAD Push Coalition, to get that for Black businesses, right? We know that employment is okay, but you don't build wealth from employment. You build wealth from building a business, and you transfer that wealth to the next generation, to your children, through building a business or multiple businesses, right? So that's something that I'm very passionate about is economic inclusion and development for Blacks, particularly Black business and Black women-owned business. So I'm really excited that Nadine is doing this work with women and making sure that that's happening. So I want to talk to you. I used to put out bids myself as a part. I used to be a director. My last job was with the Infrastructure Ontario in the provincial government. And Infrastructure Ontario is responsible for like the 470, lots of buildings. We're one of the largest managers and property managers. We manage most of the provincial government buildings in the province. So huge scope, huge work, manage lots of money that department goes through. And so there's lots of resources to help Black businesses as well. Now there's lots of barriers, but there's lots of resources. And you know, as Black people, my pops always says, and I believe this 100%, you know, he says, if you can't get through it, get around it, get under it, get over it. You know, as Black women, we know that we can't let anything stop us, because if we did, we wouldn't be here today, right? Lots of us have had barriers put in front of us. So there's a lot of resources, and we'll be talking about those resources later. But I want to talk to you about getting bids. How do you grow your business? Is getting contracts, right, from whoever. The government is a huge source of contracts, both the provincial government, the city government, in your case, the city of Toronto, here, the city of Ottawa, as well as the provincial government and the federal government.
Oh no, I went to Victoria.
Yes, and the federal government. So how do you get bids and tenders, and how do you win them? That's the key. A lot of us can fill out all kinds of tenders and responses to tenders proposals, and yet not win those bids. And what are the key things that are people looking for? I'm a really practical person. I'm not really about theory. I'm about action and things that you can use and things that I can use. And as a business owner, what frustrates me is I love to learn, but a lot of times when you learn, you go away and it's another thing on your to-do list. And I like a to-done list, I'm gonna call it. I like when I spend time learning, it's something that I can go away with and benefit from directly. So I want this to be a beneficial learning opportunity for you guys, where you can go away and potentially earn money from this information. So when I was in the provincial government and I put out bids, a lot of times I see people come and they bid on things. And I'm gonna confess, even I myself have been a little biased in certain cases, like people that I've worked with before, that I know their work and trust their work. If I were the person that was judging, which I'm usually not, I usually put it to my team and give them the evaluation criteria and let them do it. But in doing so, you have to understand what are the requirements for those. And I'm going to tell you this, in a lot of cases, sometimes these bids, people have won these bids before it even comes out, right? Because they've been out there talking to those procurement officers, right? They're making themselves known. You see how Nadine said, let me see what it is you have. Let me see your business card. Let me see your this. If you're just waiting to bid, when that bid comes out, you have a lower, it's like networking. You have a lower opportunity of getting it. A lot of jobs are given through networking because, and I get people refer me, people ask all the time, can you refer somebody, right? Even before those jobs actually come out. And the reason is that people know you, they know what you can do, they know the value you bring. And if you're doing that work ahead of time, you're more than likely to be successful. So a lot of times when bid comes out, because I was in the Ontario directory, InfoGo, lots of random people call me then. Once the bid comes out, I can't talk to anybody, right? Because that's violating the rules. But if somebody calls me way before and they tell me that I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I will certainly tell you, like, you know what, I have some bids coming up. You might be interested, prepare yourself, right? And everybody does it. As long as you're not doing it once the bid is out, you're not violating any of the rules. And so a lot of us, we wait until that last minute to start building those relationships. You need to start building those way beforehand, right? So when you build those relationships, you figure out who in the government is buying your services, who's in need of your services, and you start building relationships with them. That really does help you when that time comes. One thing I find with our community, information sharing is very hard. A lot of times, sometimes I get even jobs from other people that have sent it to me. And it's like you in a few days. It's like we're always late to the game because information is king, right? Data is king, information is king. The earlier you can get information, the more successful you are going to be. If you get that information early, you can start preparing yourself. As Nadine said earlier, right? There is no such thing as luck. It's preparation meet opportunities. And you're doing the preparatory work here. You know, she talked about the financials. That's going to become really important in when you're doing your bids. So I get a ton of calls that time. I don't answer them. I don't randomly because people are cold calling. For me, I was super busy and still is. But when somebody sent me an email telling them how their services will meet my needs, not trying to tell me what you want from me, how I can help you, and not that I don't like to help, but if you tell me how your services meet my needs, that's a key, right? If you tell me how your track record of doing this and you have your history and all that, then already you're giving yourself an advantage. So the work doesn't just start when the bid comes out or when somebody puts out, even for the nonprofit sector, a call for proposal. It starts way ahead of time in building those relationships. And not just building the relationships with those people, but building relationships with other businesses and other organizations who could maybe fill a gap that you don't have, right? I have friends even in the States that still, we partner together on things. You know, they may win a contract. Some of them don't have they're not a certified energy manager. I have one business I work with from here, and he's in the financial space, but he does a lot in the green space. And he used to work for a big Fortune 500 company and does D&D contracts. He started his own business, but he doesn't have the certifications that I do. And we partner together on it, right? So where he's missing, I have it. And that's one thing that as a community, we can value from each other. I have this dream of all of us together, bringing our ingredients to the table.
You called somebody.
And making this meal, and not only we make a meal, but the meal turns into a feast, and we have so much that we have to sell it, and it becomes a business and a corporation. That's what happens when we bring all of our gifts to the table and combine our efforts, right? So if we start identifying in our network, or even in outside of our network, who in our network knows somebody that has that skill set, has that record, that has that credential, that has that history, that can add to your project to make you successful in getting bids. I like to read a lot. I will read past bids. I will request information, right? I will look at pricing from past bids and be prepared. So when that opportunity comes, you're ready to take advantage of it, because you already know what your pricing is. If you, as a person, don't know how you should price yourself, call some other people in the business and ask them and get a quote. Make a bid yourself, put out a call for proposal and get a quote from people and know what it is that the pricing could be. Look at the bid history, both the federal government, provincial governments, and the cities. They put out who have won bids and what the prices are. They won't give you like intellectual property of people and their secrets, but they'll give you some base information. If you lose a bid, or even if you can call and ask, what was the winning bid and how much that was for, so you know for the future. All that is upfront preparation, right? So if you're going to bid on projects, or you see, I'm a new business, I've never done this before, I've done this maybe on my job, but I don't have that track record as a business. Partner with somebody who has that track record, right? And you do a joint venture and get improve your chances of winning those bids, right? And you may even have to do that for other businesses, at a discounted rate or so that you can get that history and get that referral references, right, from those businesses. For example, with the federal government, you have to show, when you sign up as a part of the registry, your history in doing that work. You have to show your invoices. You have to provide references, right? So if you're a new business and you don't have that, you haven't been in business for at least a year, you don't really qualify. But if you have a partner who's been in business for a year, they qualify, and they've done that work before. So you can join together and be and widen the pie for both yourselves. In fact, you can register your business. I found out, not just your own business, you can register a joint venture with someone else. The government lets you do that. So you have 2 shots at winning a contract, right? So it's important that before you even decide on doing a bid, that you've done your preparatory work. Nadine talked a bit about the financials. So we're going to talk about all those pieces as we go forward. So when you see that contract, whether it's from Merck or Buy and Sell or the Ontario portal, right? You have to understand the scope. Is this something that I can do, that I have experience doing? Or I know I can do it, but I've just started my business and I don't have that history. Who can I partner with to work on this together, right? That's so important. So understand the scope and how you meet that scope of work and how you can prove it. The key things is explaining your experience and your track record, just as if you were doing an interview as well. You have to properly price. And I talked to you about pricing already, that you can get quotes from other people who've been doing this a long time. Look at the history, right? Those bid histories as well. It's in open.gov in most of them. And you can also call up those contracting officers and talk to them and get a debrief from them as well, and get some knowledge transfer. Right now is a good time to be a Black business. When you reach out and you tell people that you're a Black-owned business, they're more open these days to that. Now, you have to be able to follow instructions as well. So there's a fine line. I'm very innovative, so I don't like following instructions. But when it comes to bids, you have to follow instructions. They tell you exactly how it will be evaluated, what should be included. And most of the time, if you don't do that, your bid will be considered non-responsive, even after you put in all the work, right? So you have to do that. Now, here's where a little bit of innovation comes. If they've asked for a particular solution or a way to do something, you provide that information. But if you feel like you have a better way of doing it, I usually include that. And I will look at it, because sometimes people surprise you. I've been surprised where I see bids and I think, oh, this is the right way I've done, we've done all the research and this is it. And somebody presents something totally new and innovative that's more effective, both cost-wise and maybe time-wise, that we could use, right? So it doesn't preclude you from adding your bits to it, your value add, right, to that contract. So it's important to do that and to provide the bids in exactly the way they say it and in the time frame they want it. This is a place where you can't be late because they just won't wait for you. Pay attention to the timeline specified in the document, in the solicitation documents, right? You can ask questions, and some of them they have deadlines for it, right? So you need to ask those questions within the time frame that they've given you. Otherwise, you can't get your question answered after those. Sometimes, if you feel like the time frames, I'll say for the federal government is unreasonable, they will actually sometimes extend those deadlines. If you notice, a lot of times you see amendments and deadlines extensions, that's because people ask for it. And of course, I mentioned to you before that before you start, figure out what are the mandatory criteria that you must have. And if you don't have it, go find somebody in your network who has it, right? Because if you don't have those, you don't really qualify, right? Because it's a simple pass fail. And if you're not, and it's not that you're not qualified, I'm gonna say, I was talking to ESDC about the Supporting Black Canadians fund, that a lot of people had gotten rejection letters that they weren't Black enough, I'm gonna call it. But I'm not excusing them or anything, that was inexcusable. But if you're not able to communicate in the right way, exactly what you're trying to say, not that people didn't not communicate properly, but I'm saying it's so important to communicate in a way that answers that question and state clearly, like what it is, how you meet those criteria, right? Here's some quick notes that I've put together that will help you, right? So they have usually a technical section of the bid, and this is where you provide the most detail. This is your chance to show that you understand the requirements, right? And describe how you would do the work if you were awarded that contract. Of course, start with short introduction that includes an evaluation of your current situation, the need for the project, and this is general. Not everything is always like this, so of course you have to read it in detail. First, you have to indicate and substantiate your work plan, methodology, and techniques, right, that you're proposing, and discuss the feasibility and the degree of success expected. You have to identify any problems and anticipate it, and a contingency plan or mitigation plan if any problems arise, right? Of course, you have to understand the task and the deliverables, and of course, speak to it, and your schedule as well. And like I said, if you have an alternate solution, you can put that in after you've put in what they've asked for as well, right? So if they're saying, my background is in technology, even though I've done construction and different things because I like change. But when you go and you're doing that work, right? You need to make sure that you respond to exactly what they're asking for. So if they're asking you for a business intelligence software, and maybe they're a Microsoft shop, right? You don't come necessarily with something different. You respond to that request, and then if you think there's another option that's good for them, that would solve their problems and maybe make their life easier, that doesn't have necessarily a huge learning curve, you can definitely suggest that. And even when somebody did some work and their price was super low. So we're going to talk about the financials. Of course, you have to provide the detailed financial breakdown and your cost element. But one thing I look at is I've seen where a person had given a bid and the bid was super low. And for me, I was a little concerned because I know what the price should kind of be around, what the average price should be. And most of the bids were around that price, and somebody had a super low bid. So I was concerned at that price, how would you really be able to do that work and do it properly? What kind of work effort? So sometimes we want to win the bid and we put it really low. And if your cost is so low that you really can do it, then you explain why that is, right? So if you've done, you've gone and you ask people for estimates and you're like, I am so super, I can do this at half the price because I am magical and I've got like fairies doing it at night, then I would say that you explain that and show the person why you can still produce that result, right? If you've got some kind of innovation or something, or you've got relationships where you can outsource it and get it super cheap, put that in so that person knows not only but you can do the job at a low price. So I'm going to stop there and give everybody a chance to take a break and give everybody a chance to ask any questions. If anybody's applied for any contract tenders or so, what has been your experience? And, what do you think you could have done differently?
Thank you so much, Andrea. While we wait for, and I can see a few hands raised, while we wait for that, I just wanted to, or before we get to that, I wanted to read out a few questions that I got. And this one says, how do you go about getting information to help prepare for a bid? And also, how do you submit bids?
Okay. So usually when you apply for bids, I'm going to give to you guys, Ojo will have this for you in electronically so you can look it up. So Google is your friend. Of course, not a lot of stuff on Google is true or right, but there's like Merck, there is, like I mentioned, the federal government, buy and sell. There's all these different places where you can go and find bids. And there's some sites that aggregate bids from other places and show it as well. So that's one place you can go and find bids. Was the question about where do you get information to do the bid? Repeat that question again, please, for me.
Yeah, so the question is, how do you go about getting information to help with, tendering a bid? And then where do you submit them?
So I would say, where do you get information to submit the bid? You have to do your research, right? You have to do the research. You need to know your business, know your things. And it does not hurt to put out a proposal or ask people for quotes and put out a proposal yourself and Google, right? What other people are doing, right? And ask for a request so that you can have some information. There is the freedom of information request as well, that you can get more information. And the government will make some of the bid information public as well. So you need to find out where that is and you call up those contract officers and ask as well. A lot of these websites have information as well for you that you can go look and see what's going on. So I would say that's the key thing for you to do. But you have to do the research and know your business and know what it is that you're doing, right? So it has to start with you first. I would try go look at bids. You can look at old bids that have gone and see the history of that and try to respond to it yourself and try to do and see if you were able to get close to those numbers and those pricing and the requirements, right? And ask when you apply for bid, sometimes it's just doing it and then asking for feedback. And by the way, there are people that will do bids for you. So you can hire somebody too.
Yeah. And so we're just going to go to the ladies who have raised their hands. Jessica, please unmute yourself and go ahead.
Hi, thank you. Thank you, Andrea, and thanks for the presentation. I had a question in terms of demonstrating your expertise. So I'm fairly new to consulting, but not necessarily new to the area of work. And so, of course, a lot of bids will say, you know, tell us about your consulting experience. And so how would you suggest navigating, positioning myself as someone with experience for a bid, despite not necessarily having consulting experience, but experience in the field nonetheless?
So two things I'm going to say. If you're applying for a bid, if you're talking to somebody, it's very different than when you talk to a bid, right? When you're talking to somebody and you're just having conversation, you tell them, you know, I've worked at a consulting firm, I've done this for this much, you know, here's my portfolio, I've worked on this. You have that regular conversation, almost like a job interview, right? Where you're sharing what it is you can do. On a bid, if you don't have the experience generally in that, you need to partner with somebody, right? So you need to find somebody and partner with them who's been doing that, or be a subcontractor, right? A lot of people are super busy too. They have a lot of work and they want to work with somebody, and you can subcontract with them. If you're a subcontractor, don't work for them, subcontract with them. So what you do is you register your business, you send them an invoice. That way you have the record of doing that, right? If you work for them, it doesn't count. If you subcontract with them, it counts, right? So let them bill you, you bill them, you sign a contract, and you invoice them like a business. And that's one way of developing that track record.
Amazing, thank you. I hope that answered your question. We have someone with a raised hand as well. Tashani, please go ahead and unmute yourself and ask.
Thanks, Uju. Hi, everyone. And thanks, Andrea, for joining us. So I'm a fellow Lynn government employee as well, so I'm very familiar with IO. So thanks for your great work. So my question, and I don't know if you actually answered it, I might have missed it, but you did mention, you know, the procurement specialist, you can get in contact with them around any questions before the bid comes out. But I guess my question is, how do we know when the government is seeking people to bid for procurement?
So they have certain dates and that they put out requests. Like right now, the government, I think till the end of March, they're putting out for the federal government for professional services, right? So you have to get familiar with those calendars, and you can call those procurement officers. If there's departments that you know of that hires those kind of people, you can call them too and find out when is bids coming out. And because some of them are like, they look for vendors of records, and there's certain time period that they do that. So that's a bit of a research work that you have to do.
Okay, and would you recommend, just a second part to the question, would you recommend signing up for the federal procurement workshop, which will help to provide some further insight into that process and building those connections?
For sure. And but after you go in the federal registry as well, we're working on Nadine is included in this. We're working on getting a set aside for Black businesses, right? Where projects will be focused, tenders will be focused on Black businesses. Or we've also asked them to give points for areas where Black businesses are not centered. We don't have a lot of capacity, that we could be subs with other vendors, right? So they get points for hiring Black businesses as subs. But when you sign up with the federal, after you get in the registry and you understand the process, you still have to go sell yourself and do those things that I mentioned before, right? There'll be contracts set out, but there's more contracts that you have to find out who those procurement officers are and try to sell yourself and sell your business.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you for that detailed response. We have a few people sharing links on the group. I love that. But you guys, this presentation will be made available after today. So no worries for some of you asking that these links be posted. So yeah, another question we have, we'll just take one more question and we'll let you go. This is from Kara, and she's asking, how do you may have touched on this already, but how do you find companies to subcontract for?
So like at the federal government, so Nadine talks to you, the first thing, Nadine talked to you guys about your business plan. In your business plan, you do your competitive analysis, right? You know who your competitors are, who is in your field, who is all those. So that's part of that work that you have to do, right? To find out how you can be a subcontractor. So if you're a small business, you don't, so another small business may see you as competition unless they don't have the skill set that you have. But a lot of large businesses want subcontractors, right? There's a tool on the federal government site that says interested tenders, I think it is, and you can people who are interested, and you can see people who are interested in that contract, and you can reach out to them and sell your services to them. But don't wait until that. Start looking around and see who's in your field, who's in your area, and start talking to them, right? About and start building those relationships. So when that time comes, you already have somebody in mind, or they will reach out to you as well with certain things.
Andrea, can I just add? So it would be the person that's already won the bid, or do you have to approach them? Because sometimes there are hundreds, literally hundreds of people interested in a tender, and it's unrealistic to go and call all of them, especially when you've got like a limited window, like 3 weeks or whatever, before the bid closes. So is it possible to approach someone that's already won a tender and they may still be looking for a subcontractor?
Absolutely. And since you make a really good point, that's why preparation is important, right? There may be 100 people in those areas that you could partner with, but if you're not doing it ahead of time and you're waiting till right before the bid, you're less likely to be successful, right? You should be working on that way ahead of time.
Perfect. We just have time for one last question, and that's it. And this one says, can you contact procurement at an organization to ask them what the hourly rate currently is?
So you can ask, they might tell you, but here's the thing, there is the open.gov information that they post, and you see what the rates are for those contracts. They're not necessarily going to tell you what the hourly rate is in some cases, but if you see the scope of work and you do the math, you can figure that out if they don't tell you. But yeah, some of them will let you know some information. They're usually trying to help.
Well, thank you so much. This has been very, very robust and in-depth. I'm sure we all have gotten something to take home and to act on after today. So thank you so much, Andrea, for your time and for just answering all of our questions. And we hope that we'll get you to come back some other time. But we really appreciate the time that you spent with us today.
You're welcome. Thank you. And I'm going to stay and listen to Chris a little bit if he doesn't mind.
Fantastic. You're welcome to stay. And so we have our next speaker. I was just going to share my screen. While that comes up, hold on. Can we all see my screen? No. Okay. I'm just going to go ahead and introduce the next speaker, Mr. Christopher Alexander. He's an entrepreneur and a former banker with over 30 years of cross-functional experience in the financial service industry, waste, energy, construction, and business consulting. He has experience in business development, non-for-profits, and community organizations. He's a business mentor and a coach with exceptional knowledge of strategy management, risk management, cost reduction, operational planning, and continuous improvement of technology and processes. He has an excellent grasp of strategy, financial planning, business development, and operations management. Chris is the CEO of Zoosh Service Enterprise. I hope I pronounced that properly. He's also the CEO of the Festival Management Committee, the organization that produces the Toronto Caribbean Carnival. He's a finance executive for Allianz Financing Group and an executive director of Connecting You Now. He holds an MBA from Dalhousie University, a bachelor in business management degree from Rising University. He's a personal finance planner and a fellow of the Institute of Canadian Bankers. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Christopher Alexander.
Thank you so much for your introduction. How much time do I have tonight or this evening?
All right, you have 30 minutes.
Okay. No, because I wanted to share a few things and I wanted to make sure that I don't go over. What I'll basically do, I'll go through really quickly some of the stuff I wanted to share with you.
You can share your screen because I'm
I can share my screen. Yeah, I'll do that also.
Okay.
But first of all, I'm impressed to see first of all, Andrea, great to see you. Wonderful presentation. I know we spoke, the first time I spoke to Andrea, we were supposed to speak for about 5 or so minutes. Over an hour, we were on the phone, like just talking about so many different things. But amazing person, and I thank you so much. Your presentation was amazing. So today, I know Nadine asked me to speak about, I'm going to talk a little bit about the Bates, not about the Bates program, but what we're actually doing. But I wanted to touch base on one or two things today. One is a marketplace. The two is an ecosystem that we are creating also. And then a little bit about the Bates program and how we're working together. So I realize that so much of you are here today, and networking is a critical thing to get together and make sure that you share your knowledge and share together. So I'm going to share my screen with you. I'm going to have I'll be sharing more than one screen, so I'll shut off and start over. But the first thing I wanted to just quickly go over with you is what I call a marketplace, something I developed over the last few years, and it's working well for us. And I think it's something that you can benefit from, and also the ecosystem. I'll talk a little bit about that also. So the marketplace is called, I'll just share it this way. Give me 1 second. Can you see this? Okay. So I'm introducing a unique online marketplace for micro businesses. And I guess most of you are either entrepreneurs or entrepreneurs. The difference, some of you are working inside another person's company where they spend the money, and then others of you are literally the ones spending the money to get your business up and going. So the marketplace is really a place for micro businesses. I'm not going to read it all through. I'm just going to quickly just talk about the slides so I can get more time to answer questions as opposed to presenting to you. So it provides access to capital and opportunity to empower micro businesses to take the next step. And once I talk a little bit more about that, you'll understand what I mean by that. It provides an avenue for businesses to connect with each other, just like networking, but it's run with a portal behind it. So there's a lot more power to just, networking and sharing information. I know a lot of us go to directories, and there's a lot of great directories out there, and some are still being built right now so that we can connect and share business knowledge with each other in the community. So what's the marketplace? The program is an interactive place for micro businesses. I use the word micro a lot because most of the businesses in our community are small. And I know that we are growing, but we have a lot of mom and pops, and which is not a bad thing. The fact that we are actually running businesses is an amazing thing in the community right now. And most of the people that are running these businesses are female women, yourselves. I mean, see so many of you here tonight. So why is it available? Most micro business owners are very busy and do not have the necessary financial resources and time to hire the expertise that's needed for them to manage their businesses. And because of that, they become the old saying, the chief, the cook, and the bottle washer. You probably heard that terminology before. Some of you might be too young to understand that, but that's a terminology that we use a lot. What are the main benefits of it? The main benefits is opportunity. It provides a one-stop source for the businesses to be able to connect with each other. And I'm going to go really quickly here. You can ask me questions later. There's a value proposition for it also, where we can access professional, cost-effective services that are essential for the operations of businesses, and an avenue for them to access customers to provide the services. And think about it while I'm speaking, because you can see yourself inside this marketplace, because a lot of you can benefit or access, have your business work within this system here. And how can it have the clients? The clients have the ability to gain access to the business from a single source. The kind of oversight, we have serious oversight. I'm not going to go through the details on the oversight. I'm going really fast because I want to make sure I leave time for questions. There's charges, the way that we charge within the system. I can talk a little bit more about that. But eventually what happens is the client have an opportunity to get a quote from the provider of the service, which could be somebody like yourselves. And then there's a payment methods in terms of how we do that. I'm not going to go to the details of that right now. Who is it for? It's for service providers. So anybody doing things like accounting, bookkeeping, insurance, legal, realty, marketing, information technology. Just think about everything that you do right now as business people. It's here for you. The clients are business to business clients, the consumer to business, B2B, B2C. This is what we have here right now. So this is a list of the services that we have here as part of the ecosystem. So I'm just going to run through quickly. I wanted to give you a picture is worth more than 1,000 words, as you know. So I wanted to show you a picture of how this system actually works for us today. So I'm going to stop share and I'm going to get the other screen up for you. So it's an ecosystem. And what happens right now, we are trying the best to keep the dollars bouncing inside the community. So where we can buy from each other to make sure that each one of us can have more, can share more, and can have the dollars circulating within the community. So the ecosystem, I want to give you an example of what that looks like. Back in 2008, when I left banking in 2009, so that's a while now, almost 11 years. And I went directly into this area of consulting, and I learned a lot, made a lot of mistakes over the years, as some of us do, but we learn from these things, and that brought us to where we are here today. So this picture here, I'm not sure if it's clear to you, but this is a picture of what the ecosystem looks like, where we have all the businesses that I spoke about earlier. They're connecting with each other through the system, and we provide all these services here. There's another area that I'm not going to talk about a lot today, but this is the area of us raising financing in the community to be able to provide services or financial resources for businesses. Today, we have money coming in today we have from the government, and there are other people with the money that's providing loans or capital to businesses. But a lot of it is not directly from the community because it's not, we don't have that much, or we do probably have it, but it's not circulating here right now. So we have to find a way to do that. So that's one thing we have to look into. I'm not going to go to the details here right now, but this picture is an idea of how the ecosystem works with all the businesses that can supply service to one another. Now there's a format, and this is the format here, and this format shows you how the businesses can interact with each other. So this is the business portal that we work from. These are all the businesses that I spoke about earlier, whether it's accounting or legal or customer service or anything else that you provide. These are your services here. You interact with the system, and these are the customers or organizations like BBPA or any other organizations that will eventually have clients working through the system to make things happen. And one of the programs that we are starting off with is a Bates program with the BBPA as a backend. The third one is the how the system works. And I'm just going to quickly show you how this happens. There's a client here who can refer into the system, and we have the provider of services that will go through codes into the system. It runs back and forth eventually, and then there's a payment process that takes place at the end. So this is just a quick overview of what the ecosystem is like. I know I went through really fast, and you probably have lots of questions, but I'm not going to spend more time on this one. I wanted to go into another area for you, but this is just the end of this short presentation here. What I also wanted to talk about today, I'm sorry I had to go so fast. Also wanted to have a quick chat with you today about the Bates program. I know that Nadine spoke a bit. There's a program that I'm not sure if Nadine is going to spoke a lot about it over the period that you were meeting, but there's a program that the BBPA has that's an amazing program. And I just want to show you an application system that you can use to fill out. So tonight you can, I think Nadine is opening it up pretty soon, but I just wanted to pull that information up so we can get a chance to take a look at what the application system looks like. Can you see this screen here? Actually, let me share it again for you, sorry. Can you see this? So this is the BBPA website that you would always, you can go to the BBPA website, and when you get there, it's a Bates application form that you will, you can fill this out. I'm not going to fill it out for you right now. I don't think I have a lot of time to do it, but I just kind of run through it quickly with you. There's a lot of information on this form that you will have to provide. And obviously it's a good thing for you and also for the BBPA to help you with the program that they have right now. So there's general information, and then there's some specific questions that we'll ask you about the services, what kind of services that you're interested in, because there's a number of things that they would provide services for you. And then what kind of a company do you have, whether it's a corporation, your corporate information will be filled out here. And your human resources, we'll ask you questions about your company themselves. This is detailed questions, a little bit about your marketing and your business, some about your accounting and finance. And then we have some other questions that we basically ask you, which are details, some of it you don't have the option to answer. Everyone here, obviously, what's the agenda, the future plans for your company, how many years do you plan in advance? And there's a number of detailed questions here that will be asked from you, and then you hit submit. Once you submit this goes into the BBPA, and they will do a review to make sure that you qualify for the programs that you're requesting. And once you've done that, eventually the system will come back and they'll give you a response. So this runs through the ecosystem also to make sure that this is a process that is easy, is foolproof, very simple to work through, and at the end of the day, you'll be better for it. The BPP, I'm not going to say too much more about it because I know Nadine is going to talk a little bit more about this program. But I wanted to share with you that this application form you will see on the site very soon, and this is going to be available for you to get the services that they're offering through the BH program, which is an amazing program that the BPP is utilizing right now. One other thing I wanted to share with you is how you can get involved as a business within this ecosystem that I just mentioned to you here, and how you can sign your business up to be able to apply to provide services, because I know right now you're doing networking among each other, but you can be a service provider, a merchant or agent or whatever we want to call you, into the system where we would send close referrals to you by businesses that are coming through the system, through this ecosystem. So I'm just going to quickly show you on my website how you can get to do that. This is my website, the Zoo Service Enterprise website, and you can sign up as an agent. If you sign in as the agent here, I just pull it up. It became sorry, I think I did it wrong, an agent. So you can become an agent on the system. You can go into the zsc.ca, sign up on the website. If you can click here, there's a questionnaire that will show up where you can fill all the information about your company. Submit
Your
it.
screen's not showing.
Oh, it's not, sorry. Sorry about that. I thought I was sharing. Let me check again.
It's okay, Chris. You just wanted us to see your handsome face.
Nitty. Okay, there you are here. Sorry, you got it now? Sorry about that. Okay.
There we go.
So this is the website. This is Zoo Service Enterprises website. It's zsc.ca, and you can click here to get onto the agent site. It tells you a little bit about what the agent can do and what we expect of you. To be an agent or a merchant is respect, quality, timeliness of delivery, efficiency, competitive pricing, follow-up. We want to make sure if you are going to be part of this system, you have to exhibit these qualities to be able to serve the customers. We want to have very high level of service for the clients that we are providing services for. And you can click here, become an agent. You can click here, and there's an application form that you fill out. This is just information about your company. We'll ask you a number of questions, very similar, and for your company. And then a few things we want to make sure is we'll ask you questions of, do you have a review about your businesses? And if you do, you need to show us what the reviews are, the endorsements from other clients about your business. We want to know that. If you have that, you may not. If you don't, that's fine. We'll still have a chat with you. And are there testimonials about the business? If we have those, then definitely we'd love to hear what those are, because we want to make sure that the quality of the agents in the system are very high. So these are some of the things that we do also. You can also register your business in the marketplace. The marketplace is where we vet a lot of the businesses that come in, and this is the same kind of application can take place as in the marketplace, where you can come in and you can fill out what your business is all about, and you can add and register your business as a free lifetime listing for your business. So you can do that also. In this ZSC portal. Now, there's a lot I can talk to you about here, but I don't want to spend too much time on the portal. I want us to give you an opportunity to ask me some questions. I know I said a lot. Hopefully I didn't confuse you, but this is the opportunity to ask me questions.
Yeah, and Chris, thank you so very much for your time and for partnering with us and for showing our boss women the portal. Part of the BADES program, which is the Business Advisory Implementation Development Services, it's to work with entrepreneurs, hold your hand, and go through the different steps to build your business. So for example, you want all the information that Andrea shared, we want a procurement opportunity. Your business have to be lined up. You've got to be registered. You've got to have your financial plans done. You've got to be very ready. And so the BADES program will help us get ready
And there's two areas of opportunity. One, if you're an entrepreneur that needs services, whether you need marketing services, you need HR services, if you need your taxes done, that's what the portal is there for you to do. If you need a grant, we're there to help you do that. And then once that's done, the other side to the portal is what Chris's company provides, which is the part where you can provide services. So if you are an HR consultant, if you are a marketing person, you can register your business on the agent side. Is that right, Chris? On the agent side, and then you can become a preferred supplier, and there will be and you'll have a list of ready customers, ready clients through the BBPA's BAIDS program, the Boss Women's program. We have now done the Rise Up Pitch competition. 700 women will be registering. And so you as a service provider will have an opportunity to sell your services to that audience. So it's a win-win on both sides. Yeah. And so any questions for Chris, please do so, ask them now.
We do have a few hands raised. Tashani, do you have a question?
No, I think that might be from before, Uju, so my apologies. I'll take it down.
All right. Dion, do you have a question?
Yes, I do. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, perfect. So the question that I have about this portal, how is it going to work in terms of, I understand there's two kinds of, I guess, divisions, right? Like you can come in there as the business who needs some help, and then you can also register to be the business that's helping other people. But one of the things that was said is it's kind of like cost effective or cost affordable for the micro business owners like myself. Like, so I'm a micro business owner right now. Truthfully, I'm running 5 different businesses, okay? Because I had to pivot throughout the pandemic to make sure that, you know, I could pay all my bills and keep my business afloat. So as somebody in that situation where I'm already really tight on my time, because in order to run these 5 businesses and to be grabbing from multiple different pots of income, right, I really have to mind my schedule. I'm also really having to mind my dollars and my spends, right? So I'm just kind of wondering, in the very beginning, it's kind of like it's saying, oh, we have access to funding, we have access to services, like whether you need marketing, whether you need accounting help, whether you need all these other things. But truthfully, as a micro business owner, I really don't have a huge amount of budget to spend on all those things. You know what I mean? So how does that whole thing work in terms of pricing, in terms of how am I working with these agents for all of these services that this portal offers? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I understand your question. I think I understand your question. Yes. Well, first of all, you have a lot on your plate. 5 businesses is a lot. And hopefully they're all connected, because if they're in different industries, it's much harder also. What we notice a lot, and we see a lot of businesses on a daily basis, and what we've noticed is a lot of businesses, I used the terminology early on, chief cook and bottle washer. You guys may understand or may not understand, but what I mean is the person who does the marketing, the admin, they raise the finances, they open the doors, they close the door, they do every single thing right across the board. And what's happening then is the value, your technical skill is something that you're not spending the time utilizing to build the businesses, because there are things that you have to do. You have to file your taxes, you have to do your returns, you have to, call the clients. There's a number of things that you have to do that you may not be great at, but you have to do it to run the business. And what we say to businesses when that happens is, you spend a lot of time, and a lot of your time is worth money. You may not have the cash, but if you don't spend the time on sales and getting the money into the door, then you're spending a lot of time doing things that's not bringing funds into the business. Anybody who work on the business are professionals. As I said early on, to be part of the system, you have to own your business, and you have to be good at what you do. So not because somebody puts up their hand and says, okay, I want to be part of it, they'll let in. We have to make sure that the level of service that they can provide to the clients. It doesn't mean that you have to be in business for a long time. You just have to be good at what you do. And These are the people that will be able to do things for you much faster, and the cost, what we tend to push back on because we figure I don't want to pay an accountant, or I don't want to pay a bookkeeper, or somebody to do my social media for me, or somebody to build a website, because I can try to do it myself, and you spend a hell of a lot of time doing those things. These are the people that can help you. And what we try to tell our agents or merchants is we have different levels of service, meaning that for micro business, I keep using the word micro, and micro is really one person or a very small amount of staff, that they do not have a lot of money. So sometimes they put payment plans for them. So I have a lot of clients that come in and they're waiting for either a loan they applied for, or they're starting the business and the money is not coming in as fast as it should come in. They still have these businesses with a plan to move them forward, and eventually they have a payment plan in place. So even if you don't have a lot of money as a business, I think it's a good chance to get the professionals to help you do it, because they'll do it better than you would probably do it yourself, and you may not pay as much as you think you would be paying.
Okay, so that basically helps to answer the question, because as a micro business, that's basically all I'm trying to say, is that at the end of the day, especially somebody, because I am running 5 different things right now, I'm getting money from here and I'm spending it over here, you know what I mean? Or I'm reinvesting into marketing, or I'm spending it on a course to teach me something that I need to get better at doing, so that I can grow as an entrepreneur and do even better going forward, So it's like, it's sometimes it's a matter of priorities. Like, I know obviously I'm going to spend the money on the taxes, I'm going to spend the money on the bookkeeper, because those things you want to keep tight, you know what I mean? But when it comes to maybe spending the money on a different kind of professional, even though I know I need the help, I know I need somebody to help me do more email marketing or do more marketing on Facebook or something like that, I might hesitate, just because it's hard to vet people. Let's be honest, like, there's a lot of people that say they know how to do stuff, and then when push comes to shove, you pay those people money, and you're not getting the results that you need to be getting for that money that you paid, And if you had put that money somewhere else, like if I invest in me and I'm going to take a course and I'm going to learn how to do these things well, then at least I know I love my business enough to really apply myself to that, to really try hard to make sure that investment is going to offer some return to me, right? And I guess that's kind of the hesitation sometimes when it comes to these professional service offerings, is it's like, if you have the chunk of change and you could spend it on 5 different projects, right? You have 5 different things that you could apply that one budget to, right? If you're going to pick one thing to apply that budget to, you want to make sure that one thing works, and you want to make sure the professionals that you're working with actually care.
Yeah, and that's well, you said a lot here, and I think you spoke for a lot of people on the call in terms of people not wanting to spend money on professionals because of experiences they've had in the past. And that's why we vet the people. As I said early on, we are not going to take somebody on just because they said they can do something. We vet them to make sure that they know what they're doing, and we have testimonials that people can. In a matter of fact, one thing I didn't show you, I'll just quickly, because I know my time is almost up. In the marketplace that I talked about early on, there's a section that, and some businesses are in the marketplace. So in the marketplace, I showed you early on where you can register for the marketplace. You also can visit the marketplace, and this is something that we build in right now. It's some companies are in on it, but we haven't put it out there fully yet, but companies are still registering. In the marketplace, which is this here, there are companies in here, and some people haven't registered their businesses, so you may show up inside here. It's based on cities, so you can, and all the different services are here, but we have something else where you can register to view, and at the same time, what you can do with businesses, you can go inside and you can read businesses, you can read services in the business. There's a number of things that you can do in the marketplace here, where you can literally go in and put a comment on a business. You can talk about the services that you receive from them, whether it was good or not. These are things that are critical, that's happening right now in the system. And if a business is inside, I'm giving an example, so I'll just pick, I don't want to pick anybody.
Are we supposed to see your screen right now, Chris?
I'm almost assuming that you've seen the screen. Sorry about
I
that.
know, yeah, we weren't seeing it.
Yeah, you're supposed to be seeing my screen. Sorry about
Yeah.
that. Let me just pull it up. All right, so I'm talking and I'm not showing you anything.
Mhm.
Here, let me just pull it up again. Give me 1 second.
Because I like the idea of being able to rate the customers as well. So
Yes.
I was, yeah.
So here, you can rate the customers in the marketplace. So if I went on to the website, let me just go and get into the website here. Let's see if this is okay.
There.
Here.
Mhm.
Okay, so fine. So on the website, you can go into the marketplace. Sorry about that. I was speaking to you, not showing myself. This is the marketplace here. So you can click to view the marketplace, and there are clients inside the marketplace here. Let me just pick myself. I'm just going to pick one. I don't want to pick anybody else's business. So I'm just going to. Okay, so this is me. So I don't want to show anybody else's business. But in any case, so that's me here. So if you click here, you can get my website. But what happens, you can sign in here to rate businesses. So average rating, people can get an average, so you can get in here and sign in. And when you sign up inside here, put your email address, you can rate a company to see whether or not they're doing a good job. You can put comments on a company. There's a number of things that can happen. You can put reviews on companies in the business. I mean, I don't have any reviews here right now, but you can review, you'll see all the reviews. So we have an opportunity here to see whether a business that you've dealt with in the system is doing a good job or not. This is our way of keeping track of whether or not they're providing the right services, not by us saying so, but by the clients saying that they're providing a good service or not. And if we are not doing what you're supposed to be doing, we drop these companies, we just drop them right away. So you have an opportunity. This portal here is very robust in terms of what you can do, how you can see them. And you can go inside, and if you're looking for a company, you can see what their ratings are. Now we're opening this up. It's not fully open up yet. We're still building some areas of, but it's fully ready to go. And as soon as we do that, there'll be tons of business inside it by city, by postal code. It will give you all the information that you need there. So it's pretty detailed in terms of what this will be about. But this ecosystem allows you to be able to see the kind of businesses that you're working with. So that will take away some of the pains that you might have, whether or not you're dealing with somebody who isn't good enough or said they can do something and can't do it. These are some of the things that we have. So we have a lot of tools available in the system that allows us to make sure this ecosystem is for us. We want to make sure that our community are the dominant ones. It's not only for the community, it's for businesses, but we make sure that most of the businesses that provide the services are businesses from our community, because this is our chance to get an upper hand. So we are the dominant ones. So that's, I mean, I can see a lot more, but I don't want to, I think I probably went over my time already. So thank you so much for.
Yeah, well, we do have a couple more questions.
Sure.
And hands raised.
I'll answer all the questions.
We'll just quickly answer them. So Angela, your hand is raised. We can just quickly say your question, and then Chris can get to it. So we'll take Angela, then Lorraine, and we'll be done.
Okay, so my question is, Chris mentioned the BATES program. I'm a new business and I'd like to know how the BATES program can help me in furthering my business. How can it help me? What does the BATES program offer?
Nidhi, you wanted to give it a shot, or you want to go ahead?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll take that.
Okay, right,
so
sure.
It's Lorraine, you're asking the question?
Angela.
Oh, it's Angela, my bad. So hi, Angela. So the BATES program was designed to work with business owners one-on-one and wherever your challenges are and you need help.
So maybe it's for taxes, maybe you need marketing, maybe you need HR advice, maybe you need even pricing advice. You know, Andrea talked about, you know, pricing strategy, and if you need help, how do you get that help? Bates is here for those kinds of services. Hence Chris's portal. We would imagine that he would have maybe, I don't know, how many service providers do you have in your portal now, Chris?
Oh, tons of them. Because there's a lot of them in different.
So there's a lot of them. So you would essentially be able to pull from that menu. So you would fill out the form, first of all, that's the first important thing. And you need to be a member of the BBPA. And then once you fill out the form, we assess your needs. So let's say we've identified that you need marketing support. You know, then we would go to Chris's portal and find the marketers that he has vetted already, you know, to provide the service to you within a certain amount of budgetary allotment. And that would be discussed with the team at the BBPA. There's a committee that runs the Bates program. So they would identify whether you need $2,000 or $5,000 worth of marketing. Those funds would then be paid to the service provider in Zoosh, and you would get the services provided to you at no cost. And of course, it's a part of the training and building your business. It's a service that we offer at the BBPA.
Amazing. There's no cost to the person.
No cost. Yeah, no cost to the person, but we do suggest that you at least become a member. I think in business, when I grew and scale my business, I recognized that I had to have skin in the game. I had to buy memberships. I had to be belong to certain associations, and you get those benefits. And this is one of the great benefits that you get from being a BBPA member. So the only skin in the game you have is to become a member.
Thank you, Nadine.
Very welcome.
Yes, and you can easily go to the website, bbpa.org, to become a member. It's as quickly as that. And we'll take one last question, and we'll let Chris go and call it a day. From Lorraine, please unmute yourself and ask.
Hi, I'm not sure, not the lady that was just asking the question, but the lady before that. She had 5 projects on the go and was concerned about her budget, and applying, you know, a restricted budget to an important area of her business and not being sure she's going to get the services she deserves for the money she's spending. And I happen to have a business, On Track Accounting Solutions, and I used to be on the BBPA. Actually, I was a member of the board. I was a treasurer years ago, many years ago. And what Chris's portal provides is a way of vetting the people like myself that might want to go on and provide services. Like, I just kind of went in the background, and I went on Google and I went up like to sign up, and I saw, you know, you have to enter your business's name, so on, some credentials, your website. These all form a database that are then checkable facts, right? So that gives them ways to, you know, the process would be called vet. So I would just say to that person that called in, and thank you, Chris, for providing that type of a platform. So to you who have businesses and need services, it's like having a platform where the people who are listed on it have been vetted by someone, which means their credentials have been checked out. Thanks.
Thank you for that. One thing I wanted to say is any one of you can be part of the system. We're not just looking for businesses that's been around for a very long time. But obviously there's criteria to get in to be there, and we would test exactly with clients to see exactly what you do and monitor it over the period of time. So we pay close attention to new vendors to see exactly what they're actually doing, how they're dealing with the clients. And that rating system that we have on the portal here is to let you go in and see for yourself exactly how the services were delivered to you, whether you're happy or whether you're not happy with the service. That's critical. And that's the customer speaking, voting either with their feet. And just remember, there's an old saying by Russell Brunson said that those who pay attention. And the reason why it's always good to make sure that you put some sort of skin in the game for your business, because you will pay attention when it's your money that's jumping up as opposed to you just not doing so. So I'm glad that BBPA is asking everyone to at least be part of the BBPA, because it supports an organization that's helping a lot of businesses in the community, and they're solid, in terms of what they're doing. There's a lot of great programs with the BBPA, and I think you should just join it and be part of it. And I'm just gonna let you know that because it's an amazing organization. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Chris. And just before we go, I want to touch point also on the point, I think it was Lorraine that made about paying money. One of the things that I prove every day, I remember I was entering into a deal and I lost a lot of money on it. And my very good friends, we sat in a restaurant and I was crying in tears and I lost all this money and it was my credit line and all of that. She said, Nadine, it's your MBA. You have paid a valuable lesson and you've learned, and that is your MBA that you're getting in business. And I never made that same mistake again. And I learned from that mistake in the most profound way. I think that's one of the best lessons I learned. And so there's always an opportunity to learn, but I believe in buying and I believe in paying for specialized skills. There's a lot of things that I can do extremely well. And you know what? There's some things that I don't do well. I'm in the space of marketing and I market other people and I represent their brand, but I don't do my own because you've got a blind spot. And when you've got a business, it's like you've got a kid. No one can tell you anything bad about your kid because they're perfect. Your blind spot is that they're so perfect, but sometimes they may need a little correction, right? We don't see that. It's the same thing with your business. We're so in love and are passionate that we don't see the blind spot. And we need that other sight. We need that vision, that other sight to see what you're not seeing and to look at it really from a different perspective to take you to the next level. And it was when I did that and I invested in those specialized help that I was able to take my business to the next level.
Definitely.
Perfect. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, Nadine. Thank you, Chris. And I see Andrea stayed all the way to the very end. Thank you so much. Just before we sign out, I do want to highlight just a special announcement. I hope that we've all heard about the Harry Jerome Awards, which is like the Black Oscars, like Nadine always says. And so we usually have that every year, just an event, an award ceremony to celebrate Black excellence, Black leaders that have been phenomenal in the community, that have trailblazers and have really just created space for other people to thrive. Really leaders all around, we celebrate them. But before the event, we usually have an announcement ceremony, media launch, where we announce who the recipients for this award is. So this is us inviting you. Consider this the first dip. It will be the first set of people to be invited. It would be, it's happening. I'm just going to post the link to RSVP. It's happening on Thursday, February 25th. Yes, I just posted a link on the chat at 5 p.m. So we're going to be announcing this year, 2021 Harry Jerome. That is Nadine's award. A couple of years ago, she won one she was nominated and then she won one award.
For business. It's the best thing ever. Oh my God.
I'm so proud of it.
Yes, I'm very proud, very proud.
So this is, we just want to invite all of you. It'll be great to see, you guys there. Again, it's on Thursday, February 25th, and it's 5 to 7. We're pretty much going to end at 6:30. It's going to be pretty short. So it'll be great to see you all there. So please RSVP and register on the link that I provided. And we'll see you next week. I want to give a special shout out to Alexis, who had her camera on all through and just taking notes like she was in an MBA class. And this is pretty much an MBA class. So special shout out to you, and also to everyone else, especially those with the cameras on. I can see your faces, I know. And just, yes, I see Claudia. So thank you so much, everyone, for really just hanging and always showing up week after week. So look forward to seeing you on Thursday and also next week for week 7. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, everyone. Really great to see you. Thanks for spending your time with us. Thank you. Thanks to Chris also and to Andrea. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone.
And thank